December. Pero like as I said earlier, kung tatanggapin naman ng mga kongresista yon para ibasura yung impeachment labang kay Andy Bautista, he would have bought himself a year free of impeachment kung inaprobahan ng committee report, and therefore he could decide to stay for a full year, no? In time to sign all contracts for 2019, in time to resolve cases, no, before the 2019 elections, which is what we wanted to prevent. Ang allegation sa kanya, tumanggap siya, at hindi lang allegation, inamin niya, tumanggap siya ng referral fee galing sa Smartmatic. Bakit? Ang sabi niya, well, wala naman daw kaso ang Smartmatic sa Comelec, pero Comelec is the biggest supplier. Kaya ngayon ang iniiwasan natin, na pumirma na naman siya sa isang contract sa Smartmatic para sa 2019 election. With his impeachment, of course, he will have to undergo trial in the Senate first. We are confident that we can restore the credibility and trustworthiness of our automated electoral process. So after the impeachment, I now call on Congress to convene the Joint Committee on Electoral Reforms para mapag-usapan na kung ano talaga ang automated system na gagamitin for 2019 nang maiwasan na ang lahat ng pagdududa dyan sa automated system na yan. Again, our prayers were answered. Andy Bautista, you're impeached.
Sir, sa tingin po ba ninyo yung ginawa kanina ni Chairman Bautista, sinusubukan niya kayong isahan? Tingin
ko talaga iisahan yon. Kasi sasabihin niya, well, ang pangako ko naman, kaya nila binasura sa committee level, magre-resign ako. Pero walang kasiguruduhan. As I've mentioned earlier, no? Una, he prayed for discernment. Sabi niya, after discernment, hindi na siya magre-resign. Tapos biglang magre-resign siya. Walang period kung kailan siya magre-resign. Then he files a resignation letter to the Comelec family.
Not to the president.
And even saying effective December. Kung natuloy ang boto ngayon at nanalo ang yes vote, tapos na. Wala na siyang impeachment for 1 year because he can only file one impeachment complaint for every year.
Can we conclude na yung 137 ganyan ang pananaw na baka nga isahan?
I believe so. I believe that the 137 want to know the truth behind the allegations because we're all politicians. We will all participate in the next electoral exercise.
Of course, if he resigns actually before the trial begins, the Senate can always dismiss the case.
Of course. At any time now, he can resign and the impeachment case will have to be dismissed by the Senate.
Insurance yung ginawa?
Hindi insurance. This is the correct process. Resignation is always an option for him. Pero, wag naman niyang gawin na magkakaroon siya ng insurance against impeachment. And, yun na nga, no? He will determine whether or not he will continue on his own, no? Because only he can file the resignation, no?
Sir,
not anyone else.
Sir, totoo po ba that he was given a specific deadline to resign?
No. I do not know of any such condition.
But the events themselves presented the deadline. Kasi he was probably thinking that with a lame resignation posted on his Twitter account and a resignation that is directed or offered to the Comelec family and not to the appointing authority, which is the president, and a resignation that is speaking of December pa. Parang, ano yun, paano kung December, after his prayers na naman and discernment, sabi niya, hindi pala after I prayed, wala pala, I will not resign. But on the other hand, natapos na yung committee report. I-report out na to plenary. If he thought that madadala niya yung mga kongresista with that very lame claim to resignation, apparently, to answer your question, the 137 congressmen saw through it all. Saw through his game. Because if the committee report had not been overturned or overridden by 1/3 at least, but this time this was over 1/3 of the congressmen, that would set him free of any impeachment complaint filed for a full year, as sinabi ni Congressman Roque.
And babawiin niya, ma'am, yung resignation niya.
Yes.
Wala naman kasi walang kasiguruduhan yun kasi
Resignation at all.
hindi siya nag-irrevocable resignation.
Yan ba pinag-usapan niyo kanina sa caucus?
Hindi. In any case, please understand it's an executive session.
It was an
We're not at
executive
liberty.
session.
Oh, the complainant.
Well, I feel vindicated. I thank the two endorsers. Of course, Congressman Tolentino was one of those. I feel vindicated because thinking about the prospect earlier would have caused a corrupt official getting away with murder, so to speak. So, marami pong salamat. Malaki pa rin ang tiwala natin sa Kongreso na everything will turn out right. And with the vote of 137, the Filipino people is vindicated. The program of the President against against corruption is being pushed by the members of the Congress. So, we cannot allow somebody to continue and screw the democracy by somebody to continue chairman of the Comelec when in fact may doubts na tayo sa kanyang credibility. So this is really hulog ng langit for the entire country na magkaroon ng change in the Comelec, and most of all, this will serve as a deterrent to those who would still be in the Comelec as commissioners. Kasi may election pa tayo sa 2019 and 2022, and most of these members of the Comelec will still be there. And I'm sure Smartmatic will still attend.
All right, that was those are live images from the Batasan complex in Quezon City, where Representatives Gwen Garcia and Harry Roque, two members of Congress who endorsed the original impeachment complaint versus Comelec Chair Andres Bautista, now face members of the media after the lower house voted 75 yes, 137 no, with 2 abstaining to overturn the House Committee on Justice's earlier decision to dismiss the impeachment complaint against Comelec Chair Andres Bautista. So again, the House has just impeached the Comelec Chair Bautista, and Representatives Gwen Garcia and Harry Roque say that they did pray for a miracle, and the miracle happened today. They say that Bautista attempted to buy time by posting his resignation letter on social media, but not really filing it with the president, the appointing body himself, and making it effective by the end of the year. He says that there would be a possibility that Mr. Bautista might not even push through with the resignation. And this impeachment will actually prevent him from signing contracts in preparation for the 2019 elections and safeguard the election process. Mr. Bautista now faces the impeachment process at the Senate. And I'm Mention Macapagal. Stay tuned to CNN Philippines. Good afternoon.
Excuse me, no? By the way, tomorrow, I'm calling for a press conference because I got documents, no? Official documents from the PCGG. The Department of Justice has asked PCGG to investigate the time of Chairman Bautista when he was chairman of the PCGG, and they already came out. And there is grand corruption that he did in the PCGG. And I have this stick of documents that was turned over to me, being the impeachment complainant. And I will tell the people tomorrow, the entire country, that it's not only in the Comelec that there was doubt about his integrity. This one is already proven by the 3 lawyers who investigated him from PCGG, and they came up with documents. They gave me authenticated documents to show that Bautista was involved in corruption. He asked the sequestered companies to deposit their accounts with Luzon Development Bank. He hired Divina Law Office to lawyer for this corporation. So the trend is there. From the PCGG to the Comelec. Ganon po ang corruption na nakikita po natin dito sa opisyal na ito na si Chairman Andy Bautista.
In the same light, I was supposed to meet with DOJ officials earlier. I canceled because we thought we should put up this last fight, no, to convince our colleagues, no. So hindi ako nakarating ng DOJ, pero nananawagan ako ngayon kay Secretary Aguirre, yung resulta po ng NBI investigation, sana po mabigyan man lang kami ng preliminary nang maisama rin namin yan sa articles of impeachment. Lalong-lalo na dun sa issue ng undeclared assets at saka ill-gotten wealth. I understand that the NBI now has substantial information that were not available previously. No? So for purposes of drafting a comprehensive articles of impeachment, I hope the DOJ will share with us some of their initial findings so far.
Sir, yung corruption sa CGG, part of their impeachment?
Well, that was part of my allegation because it involves the SALN. Remember, the SALN comprised of all the accumulated assets that an official has acquired through the years. So when you file at a certain year, syempre lahat ng mga wealth mo kasama doon, no? Your net worth. So if it involves money that he took from PCGG, then it should be part of his declaration of SALN. If it's not there, then he violated his SALN.
Ang pagkakaintindi ko naman po, kasama dun sa NBI report, yung una, yung pineking signature ni Mrs. Bautista sa mga SALN para itago kay Mrs. Bautista yung true extent of assets ni Andres Bautista. At pangalawa, yung findings ng NBI ngayon sa mga undeclared assets. I understand, konting-konti po yung minensyon ni Mrs. Bautista dun sa kanyang affidavit na mga undeclared assets. I understand that the NBI discovered a lot more properties that were not declared in the SALNs.
Sir, can I just clarify? If and when mag-file ng irrevocable resignation si Chairman Bautista, what will happen to the...
Wala nang impeachment. But, make no mistake about it, even if today, this minute, he were to file an irrevocable resignation, he has already been impeached. He lost his opportunity to voluntarily resign. Whatever happens from now on, in the records of the House, in the records of this nation's history, he is the first Comelec chairman to be impeached.
But that doesn't stop him from still resigning.
Of course, he can resign, but make no mistake.
You know, the purpose of impeachment is to remove that impeachable official from his position. So if he resigns, then there's really no... It's moot, it becomes moot and academic.
Would you encourage him to resign? Or
He can do what he wants in his life, but this message I'd like to put across to Mr. Bautista. Don't mess with us, congressmen and women. Pag meron ka sasabihin, gawin mo. Don't play games. Because now, you can see what happened on the floor, that these congressmen and women who voted against the committee report and, in effect, supported the impeachment of Andy Bautista, the 137 congressmen and women saw through the game that he was playing.
At the same time, I regret that Mrs. Tish Bautista and Congressman Bambo Tolentino were not present here today. To Mrs. Trish Bautista, I think the impeachment decision today brings us closer to justice for you and for your family. To Congressman Bambo Tolentino, sana nandito ka, bossing, para you could have shared in this grand moment in history. But
Finally, he could have voted.
and he could have voted.
Kasi nadagdag bawas daw siya dun sa
Correct.
committee.
Because he was not a member of the Justice Committee,
So he
he
could
was not able to vote in the Justice Committee.
And I also wish my co-complainant, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, were also here. No, we did this together, and we thank Congressman Harry Roque, Congressman Gwen, to really believe in us by endorsing our impeachment complaint. And lastly po, kung mag-resign siya immediately, then that will open him to whatever criminal cases that will be filed, because he's no longer an impeachable official. So any lawyer or anybody can now seek justice through the courts. Thank you po.
Sir, in your capacity as complainant, are you going to pursue the case if ever the Chairman Bautista resigns?
Well, I'm now talking to some lawyers. I'm talking to the lawyer of Trish Bautista, Attorney Loon, and probably Attorney Kapunan. In fact, they already filed against his cohorts, Mr. Divina, Attorney Divina in the Supreme Court. So perhaps if we will just forget it, we are answerable to the people. There's somebody here who's been accused of graft and corruption. Then we will not pursue it since he was removed from office. I think it is worthy to proceed with any criminal complaint against him.
Sir, ma'am, doon po ba sa articles of impeachment, meron pa po bang doon sa ipapropose natin, meron pa po bang madadagdag or mababawas na allegations doon sa mga nakalagay natin sa complaint?
Alam mo kasi ang articles of impeachment will be just that, articles of impeachment. So, they will be, that is the information to be submitted to the Senate, and ang counterpart niyan sa criminal proceedings, that's the criminal information to be filed in court. So they are conclusions, they will be separate counts, but they will, I assume they will be broad enough, no, to cover different items that may have been already uncovered by the National Bureau of Investigation. Now, let this be a lesson to one and all. No one is above the law. No one can escape accountability. And to members of political parties who once lorded it over, remember, nako, weather lang po yan. Huwag kayong aabuso sa inyong kapangyarihan dahil hindi naman tumatanggal yung kapangyarihan na yan at meron ding pananagutan.
Okay. Well,
Okay?
thank you.